Today we're going to be going over lesson 4, finding the value of a ratio. So we have learned to identify ratios, and now what we want to do is figure out, can we find a single value to define a ratio? So let's start off with what we have here. I want to start by defining what I'm looking at so that I can create my ratios, and then from then we'll talk about the value that they hold. So the number of unicorns I have is going to be 2, and the number of cubs I have is 1. So what is the ratio of unicorns to cubs? So the ratio of unicorns to cubs is going to be 2 to 1. My next question is, what is the ratio of cubs to unicorns? Well, that's just going to be the opposite, because now we're doing cubs first. Cubs to unicorns, not uniforms. So now that I've identified the ratio, now I want to figure out what is the value of the ratio. When you're doing this, you always look at what are you looking at first, because remember that it's a comparison, it's a relationship. So I want to know what is the comparison between my unicorns to my cubs. So if I were to just ask you, what is the comparison? What do you notice? Well, many of you might say I have twice as many unicorns as I do cubs, with a ratio of 2 to 1. Now, another way of thinking that is that you have 2 times that amount. So you have 2 times the number of unicorns to the number of cubs. So the value of this ratio is going to be 2, because there are 2 times as many. Now, remember when we talked about how order matters? This is the reason why order matters, because now we're going to look at the reverse of this. So now instead of looking at unicorns to cubs, we're going to be looking at cubs to unicorns. So if I wanted to know how many cubs there are in comparison to how many unicorns there are, well, there's 1 cub for every 2 unicorns, which means there's going to be half as many cubs as unicorns, or 1/2 as the fraction. So the value of 2 to 1 is going to be 2, and the value of 1 to 2 is going to be 1/2. Now that just gives you a general idea of what we're looking at when we're looking for the value of a ratio, but I want to go over a couple more examples that'll really make this make sense. All right, so here I have an example problem. It's going to step us through it. The duration of 2 films is modeled below. So I have film A and film B. And the first thing I want to know is, what is the ratio of film A to film B? Well, we know how to do that. I can just count them up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for film A, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 5 to every 7 of film B. Now, the question is, what is the length of film A? Let me fix that there. The length of film A is blank the length of film B. So what I'm looking for is, what fraction is A of B? Well, I can tell that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 out of B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I can color that in to make it more apparent. So this is what A is in comparison to B. And that makes it easy to see that my fraction, or the length that it is going to be, A is 5/7 of the length of film B. Now the next question is going to give us the reverse. So it says, what is the ratio of film B to film A? Well, that's just the reverse of A to B. So we can write that down as B to A is going to be 7 to 5. So now instead of trying to figure out what is A of B, I want to do the opposite. I want to figure out what is B of A. Well, that's going to be an improper fraction, because we can see that B is going to be more than A. A is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So I want to know how many times will this go into there. So let's go ahead and make a drawing. Well, we know that there's 7 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I still have to get these 2 others, 6, 7. So we're going to draw another grouping of 5 just so that it's easier to see. Let's see if I can get this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is really sloppy. And of those, I only have these 2 here. So I've got this one and this one as well. So the length of film B is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the pieces that I have in my hole are going to be 5. So the length of film B is 7/5 of the length of film A. So from this example, it's pretty easy to see how we create these value of the ratios and why order matters. So if I'm looking at the ratio of 5 to 7, then the value of this ratio is going to be 5/7. And we're going to compare that with the ratio of 7 to 5, which would have the value of 7/5. And we like to keep these ratios as improper fractions. We don't want to change them into mixed numbers for use later on. So that's going to conclude lesson 4, finding the values of ratios. Make sure that you do the extra practice problems linked underneath this page if you feel like you want to make sure that you understand, and then come and ask me if you have any questions.